Hi, everybody. It's Amy Frelinger, realtor with Douglas Elliman on the west side of LA. And I am back with my friend, certified financial planner, Jeff DeLarme. And this is our first Your Market, My Market. Tell me, Jeff, how's your market?
Hey, Amy, good to see you. Good to be back. So certainly been a crazy couple months for stock and bond markets. As we record this, the market's up almost 1,000 points today. And a lot of investors are asking me, why could we be rallying so much after hitting such horrible lows in mid-late March? And I think there are really three reasons why the market's been rallying lately. I think the first is the Federal Reserve, our central bank, has basically come out on record saying they'll do whatever it takes to help save the economy and stabilize the markets. And I think that's really encouraging news to market participants. I think the second thing is that we are starting to see some encouraging numbers in terms of flattening the curve. States and other countries are reopening. Business owners are getting back to work. And I think there's a lot of positive news about a coming vaccine. And so I think that light at the end of the tunnel is really a positive. And then the third thing I try and remind investors is that when we look at the largest publicly traded companies in not just the US, but in the world, a lot of them are tech dominated. And so if you think about what industries have actually done well in this environment, technology makes sense because we've probably relied on it more than we ever have before. And so I think those are some of the tailwinds, if you will, as to this recent market rally.
Are there headwinds? Is there anything that you foresee as worrisome?
Yeah, I think we're going to see some volatility, probably surrounding the potential of this second wave or a deferral in when we actually get that vaccine approved and ready for market. The other thing I worry about a little bit is, I don't know that unemployment numbers will come back down as quickly as they went up. I think a lot of business owners are excited to be opening up again, but I don't know if they're going to be able to commit to hiring back to the same levels. And so I do worry about that. But as unemployment comes back down, which I think it will, I think we need to then start worrying a little bit about inflation, which has been relatively benign for the last, 10 plus years. So hopefully that helps, but I'm curious to know what's going on in your market, west side of Los Angeles real estate.
So it's been really interesting. I think as a frame of reference, it might be useful to know that the first 2.5 months, January to mid-March, were on fire. Low inventory, speaking to your financials, low interest rates, big demand, lots of multiple buyers for properties. Then COVID came through the door and changed everything. So we've really had a couple of months, 2 months now, we are at hesitating market, right? Where there is business being done, but there are a lot of people that are waiting on the sidelines. So I thought now we're just, like you said, starting to open up the state. We're now doing showings of properties that are vacant with personal protective gear, with masks, with gloves, with certain protocols, which is a whole new way of showing property. And the other thing that's interesting is now I'm requiring a pre-approval letter and a proof of funds for people to be able to enter homes, which never used to be a thing. So that's kind of a shift. But I feel like there are 4 categories of people that are buyers or sellers in this real estate environment. One is the person who's not going to do anything. We're just on hold. We're just going to see where the chips fall, right? Number 2 are the opportunists. And they're the ones that say, I've got money. Things aren't going great for everybody. There's unemployment. Right? I bet I can get a deal. So that's the second category. The third category are the people that have life changes. And often that involves marriage, children, growing families, divorce, or death
they've got to transact, right?
And that creates urgency, right, for those particular people. So as weird as it may seem, there are actually people that need to do business now, and we service those people just like you do, right? And then the fourth is people that are not quite sure. They're not clear about the criteria. They're not sure if, like your market, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Are we at the top of values? Are they going to soften? Candidly, we haven't been seeing that. I've certainly been seeing multiple offers on properties now that we're showing them again. So it's hard for any of us to know, but I think the higher priced inventory is sitting. So in whatever neighborhood you're in, the higher end is definitely sitting. And there have been some crazy record deals on the west side and in the Beverly Hills, Bel Air communities, you know, $40 million, $25 million,
Wow.
huge amounts at the high end, because none of this is affecting them. All that to say, I think that, you know, how we show properties and when we show properties has changed, but the demand is still there and the inventory is still low, and the interest rates, like you said about the central bank, are crazy low. All that to say, if you need to buy or sell real estate, there are people doing it. If you need to wait, there are people doing that. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it makes sense. I think there's always going to be a reason for people to buy and sell. I think that's what creates healthy markets, just like when you're dealing with the stock or bond markets. And so I think it sounds like we've taken a little bit of a pause, but business is still happening. And it looks like it's going to continue to happen. And as you're able to do these showings with a little bit more precaution and use DocuSign, I presume, for a lot of signings, I mean, a lot of business can still get done. So
A
it's
lot of
encouraging.
virtual business is getting done. And then ultimately, if you're going to buy a house that's worth more than $1 million, you're definitely going to go in that property. But
Sure.
well, thank you for your insights. Good to see you.
You got it.
And
Same
stay
here.
well. Thanks, Jeff.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.